LeBron. History tonight. The first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game.
Last night we saw history in the NBA, something that may never be replicated again. LeBron James and Bronny became the first father-son duo to ever step onto the court together in an NBA game. As we've seen, LeBron just continues to climb the mountain with accomplishments that we never thought we would be able to see within the game of basketball and in the NBA, and he continues to do these almost every year, it seems like. The longer that he plays, the more records that he breaks. But in his heart, this might be his favorite as he went out there and got to play with his son. Let's talk about what we saw last night in the game and how Bronny James's future is going to look on the Lakers and in the NBA. Now, first off, let's talk about the moment itself. Going into this game, we learned that this moment would happen, and it would happen towards the beginning of the game. This was the only point in the game that Bronny did check in, as he was on the bench for the rest of the game. But JJ Redick, I believe, went out and he got this done, so there wouldn't be any speculation and there wouldn't be an event like this happening almost every single game. People waiting, oh, is Bronny going to come in or not? He wanted to go out there and he wanted to get it done when it was possible. They were up by 16 points and he subbed in Bronny and LeBron. They had their moment in the first game. So yes, it was a fantastic moment, but now as a team, you get past that. It's not like you're waiting throughout this whole season and people are on edge. Oh, is Bronny going to check in with LeBron? Are they going to be able to play on the court together? They may play together on the court later this season, like I'll talk about a little bit later in this video. But now you get the moment out of the way, you soak it all up, and now it's time to play the rest of the season and focus on putting the best players on the court at any given time after you get this good moment out of the way. Now, I do want to talk about some opinions that we've seen about this moment, and the first one I'm going to be talking about is this right here. Two conflicting parts of my brain. As a dad, this is awesome. As a sports analyst, this is a complete sideshow and disrespectful to the game I admire. Bronny played 3 minutes, this was a photo op, and the Lakers are clearly not a serious organization. Now, looking at this, obviously the first part, he's commending this as a dad, he says, and, obviously, I think no matter how you look at this, if you look at this just as a perspective of LeBron being able to play with his kid, game aside, I think everyone can agree this is a great moment. But the second part of this, I understand where you're coming from, but I disagree a little bit. The reason they got this done in the first game, like I just mentioned, is that they could get this out of the way so people aren't waiting, tuning into these games, seeing if this moment's going to happen. I don't think this means that the Lakers are an unserious organization, because we've seen other players come into games, yes, maybe not midway through the second quarter, but you're also up 16 points. This is a kid that you drafted, and yes, he may have came in because of the name, and yes, obviously there's a photo opportunity, but it's not like you're bringing in someone from the street, right? You're not just pulling a guy out from courtside and bringing him in for a photo opportunity. Is Bronny going to play the rest of this season on this team? I'm not really sure exactly. I'll talk about that a little bit, but I do think that he's going to see more minutes as a Laker this year, whether that's in the next game or towards the end of the season. Yes, there was a good photo opportunity here, but I don't think the Lakers did it just for that. I think they did it so they can get this media sense out of the way, and obviously all the people are going to be talking about that for the next few days about this moment, but now you can move forward with the team, and you don't want to just treat this like a moment that could happen every single game, and now they get it done, they get it out of the way so people can talk about it, and now the Lakers can focus on the rest of the season. You're up by 16 points, controlling this game for pretty much the whole entire game until the Timberwolves came back a little bit in the fourth quarter, but not enough to pose an actual threat. It seemed like the Lakers had this game in control the whole time. And Bronny put up some shots, right? He put up 2 shots. He did miss them both, but it's not like he was just out there standing like a deer in headlights and being someone that's just out there just being happy to have an opportunity to go out there. It's not a celebrity. Yes, you may disagree that the Lakers drafted him, but if the Lakers have plans of Bronny playing in the NBA, I don't see this as just a photo opportunity. I see this as the Lakers wanting to actually get him a chance to get into the game instead of just throwing him in at the end of a game where you typically would with maybe some second round guys and maybe you just wait until it's a blowout to throw them in. Now let's talk about Bronny's future with the Lakers and in the NBA. So starting off, I don't think that he's going to be able to go out there and play every single night. I don't think he's within the rotation. I don't think he's within that 10, 11, 12-man rotation, whatever JJ Redick decides to run. I think that he should have some run in the G League if they want him to develop, but I do think that he could be a decent NBA player. Now, depending on where you look, obviously LeBron James is one of the most loved, but also one of the most hated athletes of all time because he is one of the most famous all time as well. So there's people that are going to love you and hate you. And because of that, Bronny is unnecessarily getting some of that hate as well. You may not agree with the way that he got into the NBA coming out of USC and maybe teams telling other teams not to draft him so the Lakers could draft him. But we're past that now. Bronny is in the NBA. He's signed to a contract with the Lakers. And we've seen some outlets say that JJ Redick is planning on Bronny being able to go out there and play on the floor throughout some of these games throughout the season. But also, I feel like I'm in the majority here where I say that he should get some G League run. Maybe with it's only in the first half of the season and he comes back to the team later. Maybe you want to see him go out there and run some minutes in an NBA game later, maybe like January or February. Maybe he spends the winter with the G League team and gets some run because you don't want him just sitting on the bench, right? At this point, he's a basketball player. You got the opportunity to get the photo op, if that's what you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, you got that done. So now he's a player on your roster. Yes, he's attached to LeBron James. Obviously, it's his son. But at the end of the day, he is a basketball player on the Lakers roster that, yes, I do think has potential to be a good on-ball defender and maybe go be a 3-and-D guy. He does have some good athleticism that he could get to the rim, but this could be a guy that you could help bring in and develop within the next few years to become a good on-ball defender and be a 3-and-D guy if you really want him to offensively. But I do think that he should get some run in the G League. If you're not going to be able to get into these NBA games and play at least like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe a little more, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't see him playing 5 to 10 minutes in an NBA game right now. You should send him to the G League so he can develop and he can play down there and get better as a player. You don't want him just sitting on the bench not doing anything every single game. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Bronny should stay in the lineup? Do you think he's going to play? Or do you think he should be sent down to the G League to continue to develop? I think all of us can agree that that moment with LeBron and Bronny is going to go down as one of the best in NBA history overall. Just the picture and the moment itself is iconic. We will see exactly what happens between these two in the Lakers this season. I think one thing that hasn't been talked about enough is I do think this Lakers team is a lot more motivated because LeBron is a lot more motivated. When you have your son sitting next to you and a chance to win a championship with your son, I think this is the most motivated LeBron has been, you could almost say, in his whole entire career, at least in a long time. We've seen some of these Laker teams recently where, they're the 9th seed at the end of the year. They have to work their way through in the play-in tournament, and they get a little unmotivated towards the playoffs. Some guys might be injured like Anthony Davis, but we saw last night, Anthony Davis, when he wants to, can play like one of the best players in the league. And now that means LeBron can take a little bit of a back seat and not have to go out there and do everything every night. And also having his son right next to him, whether it's on the court or it's on the sideline or just in the organization practicing together. I think this team is going to be a lot more motivated because their captain is a lot more motivated. Let me know down below what you guys think about this whole moment between LeBron and Bronny and how you think the Lakers are going to do this year. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.